What's up, guys? I'm back, and today I'm going to be doing a video similar to videos I've done before, talking about mostly what I do and why I do it, but the title of this video is Maximizing Quality Production with a Limited Plant Count. So I'm not only be talking about maximizing quality production, but I'm also be talking about maximizing consistent, reliable quality production, because those factor in as well. But yeah, if you guys know me, if you guys watch the videos for any amount of time, you've seen my plants in flower mostly, and then every once in a while I'll show the veg tent. But I have a plant count of 12 plants. So this video is really applicable to most home growers, especially in the United States. I'm not sure about other countries, but in the United States, most states have legalized growing, but they've legalized it with the caveat of having a specific amount of plants that's the maximum you can grow at one time at your residence. The maximum amount of plants where I live is 12 if you have 2 people in the house. So I set up my house to grow 12 plants optimally. So I always get these videos, I always get these comments in early, mid, late flower about you're wasting electricity. Oh, you're not using that room the way you should. You're wasting that room. That's the face I assume they're making when they're making these kind of backwoods moron trolling comments. And the reason I put a picture of my dogs on the thumbnail for this video is because they even understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. My laundry's ready. I was planning on doing this while I was doing the laundry. Yeah, even my dogs understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So, like I said, I get these comments all the time about wasting my space, wasting my room, wasting my electricity, wasting this, wasting that. But I beg to differ. Like I said, almost all grows have constraints. Unless you're a multi-million-dollar corporation with unlimited space, electrical, plant count, and money, you're going to have some kind of restraints. And especially if you're a home grower, you're going to have some kind of restraints. For me, money's not a constraint. Space isn't really a constraint. Electrical power, I'm good on. My main constraint is plant count. So I've optimized my grow to deal with that constraint. I do a veg flower cycle, so there's 6 plants vegging and there's 6 plants in flower almost at all times. Well, almost at all times. There's about 3 or 4 weeks where I wait to pop the next beans for the veg tent, because if I always grow new strains, so if I don't wait, I may end up with some massive strains that are just too big. And even when I do wait, I still end up with some massive strains that are too big if I haven't grown before, don't know what they do. But I've gotten better at or a little more meticulous at my research of the strains I'm going to grow, and hopefully in the future I'll be able to coordinate the strains that are going to grow fast, really aggressively, and stretch more and things like that. And hopefully I'll be able to set up my grow where it'll all be even and nothing will be forcing me to do anything because it's way bigger, way smaller than something else. But yeah, so like I said, veg and flower. I think that's the ideal way to maximize the situation. And I'm not only maximizing yield, I'm trying to maximize quality and yield while reducing the risks of having a catastrophic outcome of a grow. So I've been going for years now. I haven't had any of those catastrophic powder mildew, mold, things like that happen. And I think it's because of the way I grow, it mitigates a lot of those risks. So I'm growing for maximum quality. I'm trying to mitigate as much as I can the risk factors while doing so. If I had no plant count, I could get way more. Well, I think I could increase my yield for this room by about 50 to 60%, but that would also come with an increased risk of mold, powder mildew, things like that with decreased airflow. But yeah, now I'm going to describe how I do everything and why I think that's the best way for, like I said, plant count. So if you have a plant count, you're always limited to what you can grow. If I didn't have a plant count, I could just fire off, and have all these things in the veg tent just waiting for their turn to flower in the space. I could maximize the space all the time, easy. But since I have a plant count, I think the optimal way to grow with a plant count is veg flower, hydroponics, because that's the only way you can get like the maximum size of these plants in the veg time of a standard flowering period. So hydroponics is the quickest, strongest way to grow, solid big plants that can fill out one light with one plant. So I go hydroponics. DWC is the king of hydroponics as far as explosive growth and that kind of thing. But a close second is something like a continuous flow top fed system where the roots are always touching the nutrient water. That's a lot like DWC. It's almost there. Followed by things like flood and drain, followed by just cocoa perlite with just intermittent feedings. So that's kind of a list from top to bottom on explosive growth, with DWC being number one. So when you have a plant count, especially a small plant count, DWC just wins by default just because of the explosive growth you can get with it. Obviously, there's other things that come with DWC, but like I said, money, power, and space aren't my constraints. Only plant count. So with a plant count restraint, or with the plant count constraint, I've figured out that optimal for me is growing one plant per light, one plant per 4x4 or 5x5 area. And off that one plant, my goal is to average 2.5 per plant. And if you can't figure out what 2.5 is, I can't help you. So, but like I said, per light, per plant, I'm trying to average 2.5. And that's a good goal, and I can always get more than that if I want. But 2.5 is like the top end of really high quality you can get off of one plant in one light space. There's arguments to be made that you can get more than that, but with my situation, with my constraints, with my kind of things that I'm trying to all fit into one, trying to meld together with different strains and everything else, to get average of 2.5 is very good. So I could get more, some would be lower quality, or I could get more, and it would be, the point is, after years of doing this is the best way I've found to be efficient, maximum production. Like I said, and that's the thing, these backwoods guys are like, you can get so much more, production, so much more out of that room, blah, blah, blah. The point is, they don't look at anything besides like yield. They would look at one number, and it's yield. And they want to take that yield, and they think they're going to go get rich with that yield and go sell it to whoever and whatever. The point is, I do this for a hobby. I don't sell this stuff. I give it to the homies. And everybody I've met, most of them haven't been to the dispensary since they met me. So I need to be consistent and reliable. I can't botch an entire run, or all the homies that depend on me are going to be going to the dispensary for a couple months and wasting their money on that crap. So all this is, it's a production flow, and it needs to be consistent, reliable, and high quality. And like I said, with a plant count, this is the only way to do it that I've found. Like, if you do it in soil or any other way, you're not gonna be able to produce this. You're not gonna be able to. If you do it in soil, maybe you can get away with it if you pop the beans way early. Like, as soon as you chop down the last ones, you pop the beans like right then, and you get an extra month of veg time or something like that. You might be able to get it going in soil or get a decent yield, but you basically need hydroponics to get this kind of yield, this kind of consistency, and this kind of quality, because you need the plants huge by the time you flower them for one light to get that kind of power into the buds for that size, that space to fill with one plant. There's always comments about how much I take off the plant, but that's part of the quality part, So like I said, when I strip the plants in flower, I'm taking off everything that's not going to be a primo bud, and that's part of the quality. That's also part of the mitigating risk, because when you leave all the stuff on there, leave all the bottom, vegetation, whatever, if you really fill the heck out of a quadrant, you're going to need a lot more air circulation. You're going to need a lot more things to make sure you don't get, like I said, the bad things, powder mildew, all that. But I keep going around in circles with this. And one thing I didn't mention is the veg tent. People talk about how long do you veg for this. Veg time with a flower veg cycle is negligible. So as long as I'm going in hydro, I got plenty of time to veg these to the size I need to fill out a quadrant in the flower room. And I can't imagine a better way. I can't think of a better way to use that plant count besides flip-flopping 6 and 6. And like I said, people talk about how long you're vegging for, you're wasting power, whatever. The power in the veg tent is negligible. Like, I never get the lights in the veg tent. I got 2 lights in there, one full-size light and one like half-size light. And I never get the power on those lights over 50%. Usually it's about 45 by the time they're the biggest vegged and ready for the flower room as possible. So the only thing I have running in that tent is a vent fan, right now a humidifier for baby plants, and the lights, and a couple clip fans. So the power in the veg tent is negligible. I could run that all year long, and it won't cost as much as one flower cycle. But so anybody says something about like how long you veg plants for, it doesn't matter. Like, and it doesn't matter the power at all either. Like, I can waste a ton of power on vegging plants, or let me rephrase that. I can have a ton of vegging plants and leave them in there forever and not waste barely any power. So that's negligible, but what does matter is the flower room, the power I'm using. But if I'm getting 2.5 per light, and I use, we'll say, average of 700 watts for the room for the entire flower period, then I'm happy with that. It's 2.5 a watt is like, that's like, or 2.5 a light is like, let's say that's about, let's say 1,000. That's about 1,000, so that's just over, it's like maybe 1.5 a watt, if it makes you happy. The point is, these grams per watt type people, they're annoying. All I want is quality. Like I said, I'll put mine up against anybody's, and especially the people who are talking about yield as their #1 concern. But yeah, hopefully this explains why I do things the way I do it. Hopefully I can kind of get past some of these moron comments that I get all the time. These idiotic guys that they see my grow one time on a video and they think for some reason they know more about my grow than I do, which I don't ever assume that I know more about somebody else's grow than they do. Even if they're showing me garbage, I still don't assume that they know more about their grow than I do. I mean, I've seen people with some goofy stuff having goofy problems, and I still don't think, I don't know the situation. I don't know what constraints they're working with, what the problem is, but it's ridiculous to assume that you know something more about someone's situation than they do about the situation themselves. And if you're in your grandma's trailer, trolling YouTube, I seriously doubt you're going to understand things better than I do. But anyway, this is a quick little video. Like I said, just detailing the best ways to maximize your quality production with a limited plant count. If plants are your main constraint, your only constraint, then this is the way to go that I've found. There's a lot of other ways to grow. There's a lot of ways. Quinny, what do you think? Is this the way to go? Quinny says, why do I waste my time talking about this? And so I don't have to deal with those kind of comments anymore. Hopefully they'll understand. Quinny understood right away. She's only been living here a few months. She knows what's up. Right? Yeah. Either way, you guys watch this far. I appreciate you watching. If you haven't yet, please like, comment, subscribe. I'll be back with the end of flower for the Barney's Farm run number 5, and followed by some Battle of the Breeder stuff. You guys have been talking about trying better breeders in my room, things like that, and I think people will be happy with my selections. My selections for the next run and the run after that. I'm excited about it. Either way, like I said, if you haven't yet, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video, whatever that might be. Appreciate you watching. Peace.